Councilors, we do have a quorum present, so I am going to call the meeting to order. All right, Councilors Linehan, Councilor, all right. All right, meeting is called to order. It is, what time is it?
7:08.
7:08, meeting called to order. We do the Pledge of Allegiance, so all rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's take a moment of silence. Please remain standing for to honor our veterans, servicemen and women, and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in honor of our country. Clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Cologne-Hayes. Here. Councilor Condon. Here. Councilor Crowe. Here. Councilor Linehan. Here. Councilor McDonald. Councilor O'Malley. Here. Councilor Seega. Here. Councilor Simonelli. Councilor Spadafora. Councilor Taylor. Here. Council President Winslow.
Here. All right, so we next order of business is our guests and citizen achievement. First up, we have Councilor Cologne-Hayes, who is going to read a matter. We have Bill Bowdridge, owner of Big Doggie Daycare on Maplewood Street, is going to be presented a citation that Councilor Cologne-Hayes has sponsored and we've signed off in his actions to save Mastiff, now known as Big Momma. So Councilor Cologne-Hayes, I will refer to you to read, and we have Councilor McDonald who's just arrived. So, great. So,
thank you very much.
Yeah, let's see. Let me get there. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, thank you very much for this. So, we don't often get to do fun things here in the council, and you know, there's a lot of hard work that we do every day and day in and day out, but there are times in our community when something or somebody just goes above and beyond and does something that involves a lot of members of our community and just takes compassion. And I just thought it'd be nice to highlight that. It doesn't happen often up here, so I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm going to read about this.
Why don't you invite Mr.
Yes,
Bowdridge
come on up, Bill. So I did go over and meet, I was able to meet Big Momma. I'm a big animal lover, and this really touched my heart. So I wanted to offer, and I'm so glad that she's able to come in here with us. And just for those that don't know the story, just a little bit of background, that she was rescued from Trafton Park. She was sick and cold, and the animal rescue, who's here, Kevin, we're gonna ask him to say a few words too, they came and took care of her, and the community stepped up, donating money, and you found someone to do an operation on her. She was very sick, and now she's healthy, and you took it even further by adopting her and giving her her forever home. So, I mean, that's just touches my heart, and I just wanted to let everybody know that there are great people here in Malden. Yes, and thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. So I'm just going to read this to you, and then I think a couple of people wanted to take a picture, but I'm certainly going to get a picture in here. That'd be great. Okay, so be it hereby known that the entire Malden City Council offers their sincere congratulations to Big Doggie Daycare in recognition of their efforts in rescuing a 2-year-old Mastiff who was found in a Malden Park cold, alone, hungry, and with severe health issues. With help from the Malden Police Department, Animal Control Officer, and the Animal Rescue League, Bill Bowdridge, owner of Big Doggie Daycare in Malden, stepped in to care for the Mastiff, who is now named Big Momma. Not only did he help raise money for her medical care, but he ultimately ended up giving her a forever home and adopting her. Bill Bowdridge went above and beyond by showing compassion and care towards one of our canine companions, and we are lucky to have him in Malden. Thank you. Do you want to take a picture? Yes, we have one more sign, and then, yeah. It's okay. Do you all want to get in the picture, or should we just have a picture? Yeah, all right, a quick picture. And then I'll send you this picture?
All right. Yeah, Bill and Kevin, if you want to come up and say something, that'd be great.
I think you have to, I did also, I love it. Hey. So cute. Thank you. I also want to donate this. We got her a little St. Patrick's Day doggy disc, and then, and the downtown paw grooming here donated some biscuits, and so did Counselor Taylor also. Yeah, thank you. Could someone? So cute. I did want to have our animal control officer who gets called. Oh, we have to, did we adjourn and come back? Oh, okay, okay, great. So
Move on over here.
I did want to have our animal control officer just say a few words to the public. So if you ever do find, unfortunately, an animal like that, like what you can do, and if you could just say a few words about that. Thank you.
First, I appreciate Bill stepping up. This is becoming a trend, not only in Malden and surrounding towns. So right now, actually, we have a dog in waiting that's going to be transferred next week named Dante. We've had him for about a month. He was dumped on the bike path probably a little over a month ago. We also had Chico, who was a little mini pin. Somebody pulled into the Granada Highlands parking lot, pulled in, let him out, and took off. So it's an alarming trend. We've noticed this since COVID. Some of my counterparts, Revere, Everett, Medford, are noticing the same thing. The unique thing about this dog had an injury and an illness and was basically left on a cold, rainy night in Trafton Park. So the message here is reach out. You know, even if we can't get you the help you need right away, we know who can. It's just very disturbing that you would want to leave your dog in that condition. I'm sure this won't be the last. I'm hoping it is, but I know there'll be others. But luckily, we have counterparts, the Animal Rescue League, people like Bill, people like Lisa at Ocean View, who step up to the plate and help us every single day. Yeah, you could call the police station, and you would call the, either line, the emergency line or non. If you call 781-397-7171, just has to be transferred to animal control or press the extension, and we will do that. It's just tough. Abandonment is on the rise. We're finding it. People move out of it, but it's not just limited to dogs. It's limited to cats. We have a rooster that we got to bring somewhere this week. I mean, people are just leaving their pets behind, and it's kind of alarming. We're hoping to put a stop to it, but there are agencies that will step up and help you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
Kevin.
welcome. Thank you.
Councilor O'Malley.
I just want to thank Kevin and Mr. Bowdridge for their dedication to Malden's pets. And many times I've worked with Kevin, who's really kind of advocated and helped me in some really sad, but also some really crazy situations, and it just doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you to both, and it's been great to meet Big Momma.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready to move on to the next presentation. We have the Friends of Malden Library. Come forward and state your name and your address for the record.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Ellen O'Meara, and I'm currently the president of the Friends of the Malden Library. I would like everybody to know how honored I am to go after Big Momma. Okay, so really grateful that you would have me today and listen to me talk about one of my favorite subjects here in Malden, which is the Friends of the Library. I do have a couple of friends in the audience, my vice president, my director of the library, another member, a new member. So what I'd like to talk to you today about is what we have been doing in the last year since I've been president of the Friends, what our platforms are, and how we've made the organization change. So if you look at the presentation, you see the Friends of the Malden Public Library, and I've decided to call it Taking the Friends to the Next Level. What do I mean by that? If you look at the bottom, you have our old logo, which is a square, and it says Friends of the Malden Public Library, has words in it. Kind of boring, people thought. So we decided to change our logo and give the Friends a whole new taste. At the top of the slide, you can see our new logo, which is the gargoyle, who happens to be named Gary. We had one of our members do a line drawing of the gargoyle. We felt that the gargoyle would be a great mascot and a great character to give to the Friends of the Library. At the bottom of the slide, you can see the actual gargoyle that is on the building. So our mission is to support the Malden Public Library in its mission to serve our community by organizing events and fundraisers to help pay for library programs. So we promote books, reading, the library itself, culture, and diversity for all citizens of Malden through our activities. Our principles, and this is what changes since last year, is that after COVID, we noticed that a lot of the organizations were kind of hurting. It was hard getting people to come out again. Membership had gone down. So we said, we've got to come up with something to help this situation. So we put as one of our principles, and that supports our mission, to grow and develop the Friends. The other thing is that we felt that the Friends membership should reflect the diversity of Malden's community. I'm sure you all know that Malden was recognized as one of the most diverse cities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts last year. We're actually number 4. So our membership really didn't reflect that diversity, and for the last year, we've been working very hard on that. So by working on these 2 principles, the first one that is grow and develop, and the second one, which is to partner with Malden businesses and organizations for mutual support, we feel that we would be strengthening our organization to ensure a membership that will guarantee the longevity of the Friends. So it's kind of like that question, what do you want to be in 5 years? That's what we're trying to do now. So just some fun facts for us. Our members, when I came on board in 2023, were 257. We did a lot of work on our database, kind of cleaning it up, but our treasurer, who also is the manager of the database, has given me the update that this year we're starting off with 295 members, which is pretty good. It's about a 14% growth rate, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, as I mentioned, diversity on the agenda. Let me say that again, diversity on the agenda. So one way that we're doing that is by partnering with Malden organizations. Everybody's talking about diversity these days, okay? How do you achieve diversity in an organization? Well, I did some research. I talked to people in the business world. I talked to people at City Hall. I talked to people in other organizations. And we started our journey on the diversity train, so to speak. You can state your intentions. You can put it out there on social media. You can post it on Facebook. People get the message, but they don't sign up. So what we learned over the past year is the key is to get out there in the community. And that's what we're doing. We call it piggybacking and pop-ups. So the piggybacking is collaborating with other organizations at their events with our pop-up book carts. So there you have an example of one of our book carts. We will piggyback on an event. For example, the Malden River. Here's some examples. The Indigenous Peoples Day with the Friends of the Malden River. That was our book cart. So from our collection, which I estimate is about 30,000 books. I don't know if I'm right, but never actually counted every one of them. But we pulled books on Indigenous people, on nature, on sustainability, put them on a book cart. We go to the event, and we sell those books for $1 and $2. All proceeds go to the library, of course. Okay, so that's one example. We'll get into some more examples. Another one was the Crock and Cup with the Chamber of Commerce last year. We did the Martin Luther King event with the Emmanuel Baptist Church last month. And this month we did the Lunar New Year with the Chinese Culture Connection. So what does this look like? We go to the Indigenous Peoples event, and there's my vice president. At our cart, we actually had a little table as well. And it's really just supporting this organization, taking part in it, and meeting people. We can have our application forms out there. We can invite people to join the Friends. We can explain to them what we're about and that we are trying to be a diverse organization and that we are welcoming. Okay? Emmanuel Baptist Church, another example, that was in January. The Chinese Culture Connection. This one was really interesting. We actually had 2 book carts, one in English on Asian culture, and the second book cart was books in Chinese. We needed a little help with that one. So Mei Hung sent over a few people from her organization, helped us go through the books. And if you could see the faces of these people coming in with small children and finding shelves of books in Chinese for their children, and each bundle of books is $1. The shopping bags opened up, the books went in, and everybody was joyous. Okay, 2 other collaborations that we do every year is the Halloween book treat with the Chamber of Commerce. If you've been involved in that activity, you might have seen us there. This is a giveaway. And take a look at these pictures. Those are our members who are dressed up in Halloween garb, most of them. The kids are dressed up. Our table is always mobbed. The kids come up and say, this is the best table, this is the best trick or treat. The books are free, and our friends are handing them out to the kids. The last one that we went to, we gave away 400 books. So these are books that are getting out into the community, and it is wonderful. The other one that we did in December was with Malden Reads, and it was just a holiday book giveaway. We didn't give away 400, it was probably a smaller amount, 50 or so, but we'll be repeating that activity with Malden Reads. Happy Halloween. Okay, another great example, I think, of how we partner with Malden businesses in which we both gain mutual support. New England Coffee Company. We approached them last year. We made a proposal, and we were accepted. They are our partner. They donate the coffee truck and the coffee for our 2-day book sales. So on the Saturday morning, you will find them parked outside of the library. They donate the coffee, as I mentioned. However, the Friends do have a donations bucket on a table, and people are able to give us a donation for the beverage that they consume. Some people put in $1, some people don't put anything in, and some people put $20 in. So it's another way of raising funds. That's the truck parked out in front of the library. It was a beautiful spring day in May. Everybody was ordering iced coffee. We've got our friends, some library staff in the picture, and then a view of our book sale. I have a question for you all tonight. How many of you have been to our book sales? Okay, not bad, not bad. How many have been to our events, like the winter concert or the wine tasting? Okay, so I guess I know who I'll be sending out those invitations to. So here's some other glimpses of our book sales. And once again, we're getting there. It's going to take a lot of work, but we're getting diverse people in. The last picture underneath our logo is the children's section, and I think that is where we sell the most books from, honestly. Okay, another partnership that we formed with a Malden business was for our winter concert. So Mystic Side Opera Company, I'm sure some of you have had the pleasure of meeting Jean Sticco and Natalia. So that was during the performance, which was stellar. That's our concert poster. These are two shots of the audience, which you can see everybody is absolutely paying attention to that performance. And then afterwards, we had refreshments and socializing. So once again, it was very well attended, putting up chairs before we started because more people were just coming in. But that's what we're doing. So just to give you a heads up, a lot of people have been asking me in the last year, when are you going to bring back the wine tasting event? Well, there you have it. June 21st, save the date. We're looking for our wine partner. We're starting to have meetings to put things together. Those are two shots of the last wine tasting event, which I believe was in 2018. So I think we have a lot of expectation in the community, and we hope that this will be a great success. And to end my presentation today, I would like to present you all with our yearly calendar of events. This is the first time the Friends has managed to bring up a yearly calendar of events. So if you look down at the months, our 2-day book sales are on there, spring book sale in May, fall book sale in October. You can see our pop-ups, January, the MLK one, Lunar New Year. Our Valentine's Day book sale was also in February. The wine tasting gala is on there. The Book Treat Chamber of Commerce event is there. The winter concert and the holiday giveaway. The squares that are not in bold are opportunities that we have identified that are not confirmed yet, but we'll be working on them. So yeah, it's been a great year in the Friends, and I'm really looking forward to going through my second year with this organization. I think it does a lot of good for the local community, and I ask you to please share the word, spread the word. We're trying to build up our membership and get more people involved. So, and any questions? Anyone have any questions? Great. Oh, you do? Okay. There is a question coming through.
We're just having problems, so let me just try again here. It's not letting me click on people.
Maybe the name, if you click the name.
This is what Eva had to come back to the building to fix before the meeting started.
Okay. To be picking up on me.
I'm in no rush. Yep. Yeah, makes things a lot easier. Yeah.
Counselor Linehan.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to say thank you for that presentation. That was wonderful. We are members in our house, and very much appreciated the addition of the coffee at that sale. That was that was a very welcome addition. I just wanted to say congrats on all that you're doing, and also say that I'm open to partnering. I know we've done a lot on our events in Ward 3. We've brought in Malden Reads, and other organizations would love to have you as well. So let's connect offline and see if there's ways that we can make some of our events, join forces. And thank you.
Absolutely, I'd love that.
All right, Counselor McDonald?
Yeah, thank you so much. Echoing all the things that my colleague said in appreciation, I also wanted to offer, I guess, just an invitation to the library and friends of the Malden Public Library. You know, as we start this citywide master planning process that we've started to talk about at the council, we haven't, we're not anywhere with it yet, but it's in process. But I just think that our library is such a critical asset in this community. I mean, libraries are in general, they're keystones to democracy, to access to information, to safe spaces for people who don't have those elsewhere in their lives. And on top of that, we have this incredible preservation of history and culture in our building and in the way we've approached our collection here in Malden. So I just think that the library is going to be a big part of the future of this city as well, and I really want to encourage and invite the Malden Public Library and friends of the Malden Public Library to be active parts of our master plan process, because I think you have a lot to offer. I mean, that's such an understatement. I can't imagine a future that doesn't have that as such an integral part of our community.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you.
No, we had Counselor Hayes had something.
Yeah, I'll just be quick. I just wanted to say thank you also. The Malden Public Library has been a big, my kids grew up there. And we've worked together now on a couple of things, and I love the book fair. We've actually used at the CCC's event, I have made some things out of those cookbooks that I bought, so very excited, and we'll be partnering down the road, but I just want to say thank you for all your work.
Yeah. And
Yes, congrats.
Mary Ellen, thank you so much for coming out. Great to see all the activities you have, and great in a few years you've really taken on a lot, and it's great to see that the Friends growing. It's been a wonderful organization over the years, and the library is a key asset to the community, so it's great to know that our director and the Friends are working to make sure that stays a staple. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. So next up is public comment. Public comment is allowed under council rules. Each speaker is limited to the subject matter relevant to today's evening's agenda and must keep their comments to 2 minutes or less. Clerk, do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
We have 2 emails, and we've got 2 people in the chamber tonight.
All right, so we will start off with the folks signed up. We have Jennifer Spatafor. Please come up, state your name and address, and you have 2 minutes to go forward.
Thank you. Jennifer Spatafor, 37 Prospect Street. I am also the Vice Chair of the Malden School Committee. Good evening, councilors. As you're aware, Governor Healy sent down her proposed state budget in January, and DESE issued its preliminary estimates on Chapter 70 school aid shortly thereafter. The Malden Public School District is expected to receive a meager increase of $617,645 in Chapter 70 aid. That's a difference of 0.009725,805 from last year. That increase is less than 0.1% in funding. Our out-of-district tuition costs are up over $2.2 million. Salary increases this year just for Unit A teachers are over $2.5 million. Maintaining current curriculum will cost us $500,000. I could give you the entire list, but overall, we're looking at an $8 million deficit for the coming fiscal year. So I stand here before you today asking, is purchasing 15 Ferry Street the right decision in the current financial climate? I say no. It's not that I don't appreciate Malden's fine history. Our older buildings tell a story of a marvelous past. I just happen to value the future of Malden, our commitment to education and our students, more than a piece of property. Purchasing 15 Ferry Street and the monies that will be needed to move and restore this property could be used to put teachers in classrooms, Chromebooks in students' hands, or pay for a special needs student education. Maybe it could be used towards the $7 million needed to repair the roofs of our K-8 schools. In addition, the proposal to move 15 Ferry Street, if purchased, to the adjacent parking lot next door will affect those that attend the many important events at Malden High School, including our theater productions, community events, and parent-teacher nights. When this council first began discussions surrounding this property, you proposed moving it to the same property as Malden High School, without the input of committee members and complete disregard for the position we hold. So I ask you not to make that mistake again. Please listen to our budgetary needs before making a financial decision that could harm the Malden Public Schools and its students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So next up, we have Daniel Koff.
Hi there. Thank you, City Council. I am going to be commenting in regard to paper 9924 about 15 Ferry Street. I just wanted to read a letter that the CPC sent to City Council in full disclosure so the public can be aware as well. This was sent on January 29th, 2024. Dear Honorable Mayor and esteemed City Council, we write you today regarding the future of the building at 15 Ferry Street. As you may be aware, an application to move the building was submitted to the CPC for fiscal year 2024. It was ultimately rejected by CPC due to lack of an acceptable new location and lack of detail regarding the building's future use. While the CPC happened to reject the applicant's current request for funding to move the 15 Ferry Street building to a location near high school, we want it to be understood that the CPC still feels that the building is worthy of saving and would be open to reconsidering the application if another plan for moving it were submitted. During the applicant's presentation to CPC, the attorney Robert DeMarco mentioned that one of the alternate locations considered for the relocation of the building was the parking lot next to 15 Ferry Street. And CPC would strongly encourage the City of Malden to consider dedicating a small plot of land currently occupied by vehicular parking as the new location for the building. 15 Ferry Street and its ties to the Converse family are integral to the strong history of Malden. Moving 15 Ferry Street building to the lot next door would provide a convenient location near downtown to maximize its potential for its use, and it would lower the moving costs. To lose this building to demolition when there is a viable option and funding available to save it would be a travesty, especially when there is city-owned land right next door to its current location. Please don't let one of the last ties we have to the Converse legacy and Malden's strong past be lost forever when there are possible alternatives to preserve it. Thank you for your consideration and action regarding this highly time-sensitive matter. Sincerely, the CPC.
Thank you. All right, and then we had a couple comments to read in the record as well.
We do. The first one is from Chris Costa. Says, what a great and brilliant idea, not to remove available parking for people to access local stores. Do you plan to move the parking spaces there to the current 15 Ferry Street location? What about the empty space on the corner of Main and Ferry? Please rethink this plan. And then the next email is from James Summer. Dear City Council, I am writing to express my objections to the proposal on tonight's City Council agenda to move the building located at 15 Ferry Street to the adjacent parking lot. Malden has limited parking in the downtown area, and taking any parking away may adversely impact local business. I do not support spending any taxpayer money to buy or move this building. The time to save the building that I believe was at one time a gift to the city should have been before the city sold the building. Sincerely, James Sumner, 759 Highland Avenue.
Okay, is that the end? No more comments then?
That's correct.
All right, so let's move on next to the consent agenda. I do believe we have quite a list of things on the consent agenda. All right, so Councilor O'Malley has a motion related to the consent agenda. Yes, sure.
I would like to remove the appointment of Pat Hayes from the consent agenda to the regular agenda so that Councilor Cologne Hayes can recuse herself.
Okay. Let's see, I guess we just, is there a second to that motion?
It doesn't need a vote.
Oh, no vote, okay, so that is, therefore it's removed, but by our rules, it's just anybody who objects, it's thereby removed. I do have one quick comment. I know Nathaniel's name is spelled incorrectly, so we gotta make sure that appointment is right. So Nathaniel Kramer, we just gotta make sure we write his name right, so that's, but otherwise we'll approve that. So any other comments or objections to what is on the consent agenda? Okay. Okay, yeah, I did actually have paper 95-24. I'll ask that one be taken out. That's related to the upcoming vote, so we'll discuss that as a regular paper. So any other papers people asking to remove from the consent agenda? Yeah, so otherwise, I will take in account, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with those two items removed? Motion by Councilor Sika, seconded by Councilor Cologne Hayes. Clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Cologne Hayes. Councilor Condon. Councilor Crowe. Councilor Linehan. Councilor McDonald. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Sika. Councilor Taylor. Council President Winslow.
Yes. Okay, and then I guess we will take up, let's see, the paper.
Do you want to
Yeah, so, well, let's see, so, what is it?
You want to put it on the record.
108, so we're going to take up, so we're taking up paper 108-24 related to Patrick Hayes. So we have a motion so that Councilor Cologne Hayes can recuse herself, so this is her husband, so second by Councilor O'Malley. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, so Councilor Cologne Hayes is recused, so she will take that off, and then, all right.
Paper 108-24, mayoral reappointment, Patrick Hayes, 105 Wyoming Avenue, Malden. As a member of the Planning Board, having served since August 7, 2012, said term to expire March 1st, 2029, to commence upon confirmation by the City Council.
So any discussion of this paper, or someone might want to make a motion to approve this appointment? Any motion to approve reappointment? Councilor Sika, motion to reapprove. Councilor O'Malley, seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Oh, we need a roll call vote on this, so, so clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilor Condon. Yes. Councilor Crowe. Yes. Councilor Linehan. Yes. Councilor McDonald. Yes. Councilor O'Malley. Yes. Councilor Sika. Yes. Councilor Taylor. Yes. Council President Winslow.
Yes, that reappointment is approved. And then, clerk, can you just read the paper, bring Councilor Cologne Hayes back, and then we will take up paper 95-24.
Paper 95-24, order that the city clerk notify and warn inhabitants of the city of Malden who are qualified to vote in the presidential primary to vote at their respective wards and precincts on Tuesday, the 5th day of March, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. for the purpose of casting their votes in the primary for the candidates of political parties for said offices.
All right, do we have a motion to approve that order? Motion by Councilor Sika, seconded by Councilor Condon. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, that order is thereby adopted. So we can now move on to the item 7, motions, orders, and resolutions. Sure, okay, yep, just one, yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, no, I think we're okay, so we're going on to the next order.
Paper 120-24, order that the city submit to the Massachusetts Legislature for passage of the following home rule petition, an act regarding the maximum age requirement for police officers for the city of Malden.
So this is, so I'm the sponsor here, so this is, right now, Malden's has a limit on the age of police, and this would increase that limit, so we could particularly recruit officers experienced, and that would allow us more flexibility in recruiting experienced officers. So I know it's Chief Cronin and the mayor are very supportive of this, so if anybody has any comments or questions or discussions on that, so. So Councilor Sika and would everybody, and others, everybody would like to be added as sponsor of this? So what? It's an order, so, and we can adopt an order, it's not an ordinance, right? So this is just this is a home rule petition, so that basically the step is, the mayor's sent this down. If we vote in favor of this order, then it gets, the mayor sends it to the state legislature, and then the state legislature then has to adopt that order, so yeah, so. But, I mean, that's an option, but I don't know if Councilor Crowe or Councilor Kanu might be more familiar. I haven't been, I don't know if we've adopted a home rule petition or, so, since I've been on the council, so, but, so, all right, so Council. So Councilor Crowe.
It can if you have, there's more.
It doesn't have to go to ordinance,
No.
so, yeah, so it's a sense of whether, right, so Councilor Hayes, you have a question?
Yes, no, I wanted to be asked also to be a sponsor. There was a gentleman, I don't know if this is, he'd been working on this for a couple of years. I don't know if that's the same person who brought this up, but hopefully it will help. It is, okay, yeah. So he's been working on this for quite some time, and I was going to help him sponsor it, so I'm really, and yours too? Oh, good. So there's a lot of people out here. I think it's a great idea, and hopefully he'll be getting right on that and applying. I'm really excited this came forward. Thank you.
All right, Councilor Sika?
Yes, Councilor Hayes. I haven't heard from that gentleman in a while, but I did have conversations with the chief, and they're not getting the appropriate amount of recruits to work for the police department, and we have actually one of the lowest ages around, believe it or not. Yeah, so that's what this is, and that's why I am absolutely 100% behind this, and I think that there's no need to send it to committee. I think we should vote on it today, and I will make the motion. I will make a motion to approve.
Okay, all right. So we have a couple more counselors. Councilor Crowe, did you have anything else to add?
No,
or-
I also had somebody, and I had talked to the chief and both chiefs around the cap that we have, so I think it just makes perfect sense, because they're not getting the recruits that they have, that they need, and, you know, I think it makes sense.
All right, Councilor McDonald?
Yeah, I don't have an opposition to this, but I was just gonna ask, so why the police department but not the fire department?
So,
I believe, and decided not to jump in on this, so it was just the fire chief.
It was based on conversations with the two chiefs then? Okay,
That's my understanding, yes.
I don't know,
So,
are you
all
looking
right.
to, okay.
so,
So, yeah, thank you for that clarification. I don't have any objection to this. I would just say that in general, you know, I think that it is better when we're referring to people by pronouns, that we try to use gender-neutral pronouns, like when we're taking official actions. I think we made that change in our council rules. So, I don't know if that's easy to do in this, or that's more, has to have like a procedural, has to come from the mayor thing, but I would just note that for the record.
okay.
It just says his, her.
All right, so yeah, please note that for the record. And then we have Councilor Sika's motion to approve this order, seconded by Councilor Crowe. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilor Cologne Hayes. Yes. Councilor Condon. Yes. Councilor Crowe. Yes. Councilor Linehan. Yes. Councilor McDonald. Yes. Councilor O'Malley.
Yes.
Councilor Sika. Yes. Councilor Taylor. Yes. Council President Winslow.
Yes. So that order is approved. If we just make a note that Councilor Spatafor is ill tonight, and Counselor Simonelli is not here, so they are not objecting, they're just not present, so. All right. Okay. All right, and then next order of business, suggest we have some papers related to Ferry Street. The clerk recommended we take paper 12124 out of order because that also relates to 15 Ferry Street. Councilor Miller, you are all right with that? So we'll take up, can you read, clerk, please read paper 12124? That's just
Communication, Malden Historical Commission regarding 15 Ferry Street, M. Ida Converse Building, Malden Industrial Aid Association Building. And I can read the letter into the...
yeah, please read the letter.
Dear Mayor Christensen, President Winslow, and City Councilors, as directed by the Malden Historical Commission, this letter provides an update regarding 15 Ferry Street, namely the M. Ida Converse Building and the Malden Industrial Aid Society Association Building, one of the remaining 3 Converse buildings in the city. Its construction and mission being part of the unparalleled philanthropy of Malden's first mayor, Elijah Converse, and of the great historic significance to our community as documented in the Massachusetts Historical Commission Inventory Form MAL 491. Following its last update to you via letter dated January 23, 2024, the Commission received notice from Building Commissioner Nelson Miller that the new demolition permit application is not subject to Title 4.24, the Demolition and Alteration Delay Ordinance, based on the January 30th, 2024 opinion of City Solicitor Alicia McNeil that the demolition permit may be issued. Accordingly, the Commission held a public hearing on February 15th, 2024 for the purpose of receiving public comment regarding the proposed demolition and not for the purpose of the Commission's review or determination under the Demolition Delay Ordinance. At this public hearing, the Commission received a variety of public comment in support of the preservation of the building. Public comment received during the hearing included verbal testimony from those individuals listed on the attached sign-in sheet, the attached photographs and letter, and the attached email referenced during the hearing was received later. Urban Media Arts live streamed the public hearing, and the recording may be viewed at the link that's in the letter. The Commission still strongly supports the preservation of this building and its remaining within the area of historic Converse Square, a landmark in itself, and recommends that this may be accomplished through relocation, preservation at its current location, or incorporation of the intact building into the design of any future project on the property. The Commission thanks you in advance for your ongoing support and assistance to save this important historic building. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions. Thank you. Sincerely, Michelle A. Romero, City Planner and Clerk to the Malden Historical Commission. And we also have 2 members of the Commission in the audience today with us in the chamber.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Iovan left. We have Michelle Romero here.
Okay. Do, anything else, Michelle, would you like to add anything else to? No. Okay, all right. Any councilors want to comment, or should we just place that on file?
Move to place on file.
Councilor O'Malley's motion to place on file, seconded by Councilor Colin Hayes. All those in favor? Aye. That's on file. So then let's take up order paper 9824 then.
98-24 order. Whereas 15 Ferry Street, the M. Ida Converse Building, is one of the last existing buildings created through the philanthropy of the Converse family, and whereas the Historical Commission will be holding a public hearing on this proposed demolition of said building at their meeting on Thursday, February 15th, 2024 at 6 p.m., now therefore be it ordered that the City Council negotiate with the owner of 15 Ferry Street to acquire the building and land located at 15 Ferry Street, known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 075-272-211, for historic preservation through gift, purchase, land swap, or other transfer.
So Councilor O'Malley for the paper. Oops, sorry, yeah.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the Historic Commission and City Planner Michelle Romero for their work. They did a public hearing last week where they gathered public comment, which is attached to the agenda. Everyone who came out was in favor of saving the building. I do want to, address the comments that were shared by our school committee vice chair, Jen Spatafora. Like her, I also am concerned about the budgetary constraints that are coming up in this year and in the next couple of years, which is one of the reasons why, you know, Councilor Spatafora, Councilor McDonald, and the rest of the committee have really been looking at how can we increase our revenues. And one of the things when it comes to that is development. Obviously, bringing in, you know, high-quality development that can increase our tax base is essential. But part of that development is preserving our history is essential. So you cannot just tear down our historic buildings. You cannot just willy-nilly get rid of our history. And, you know, I, with Councilor Spatafora and Councilor DiMaria, working with the Historic Commission, created the demolition delay and historic facade protection ordinance. One of the challenges with that is that it does not stop it indefinitely. It just delays it to try to get a proposal. To the property owner's credit, as well as Attorney DeMarco's credit, who's working on behalf of them, they have been great partners to try to get this property saved, and they've given the building to us. So we don't have to acquire the building. The building has been given to us. The challenge that we're facing is where to put the building. Obviously, the best case scenario would be to leave it in its location. That's not possible because of what they're proposing. I was not in favor of putting it on the lawn of the high school, and tried to get that to change, but it was not successful there. The Community Preservation Committee members who are in the audience today, and I thank them, they agreed and said that putting it on the high school lawn was not the ideal circumstance. We have a publicly owned property right next door where this may be possible to place. We still have to do work when it comes to working with the property owner, making sure that we do try to build new parking on the site, maybe underground with what is being incorporated with that project, and as well as potentially maintaining access to Ferry Street. We don't know if it's going to be possible, but again, we lose every shot that we don't take. This is a very unique building. It was donated with philanthropic funds from our first mayor by his wife. I believe it was his wife, right? Right? Daughter, by his daughter. And she built it to provide nursery care for working women in our community. This building is so, I think, historically relevant to where we're going as a community. If we don't preserve something like this, I just don't know what it says about our community. I think historic preservation is essential. Yes, there are challenges that we need to face. I'm willing to work hard to do that. When it comes to where the money would come from, it would not be coming from the schools any way whatsoever, and I want to make sure that that's clear to the community as well as to the vice chair of the school committee. It likely would be coming from the Community Preservation Committee, which specifically has historic preservation funds. One thing to also know about school funding, we are mandated by law to provide a local contribution. We cannot reduce that local contribution. If we reduce that local contribution, it comes out of the state aid that we get. So there's no opportunity for us to be cutting in the manner in which that was described. That is one of the benefits of the Student Opportunities Act. The negative side of the Student Opportunities Act is that we have to contribute more that we do not have. Where that's coming from my conversations with the administration and with our controller, likely will be coming out of our free cash. I look forward to working with the City Council to find out new revenue. I would like a chance to save this building. I've had conversations with the director of the library. What could this be used for? We don't know yet, but some of the ideas that have been floated out there are a Malden History Museum, a visitor center for downtown Converse Square, Malden. It could be an incubator for philanthropic organizations. We have so many philanthropic organizations, like the Industrial Aid Society, the Adelaide Breed Baird Society. Who knows what could be created? Maybe this creates the new foundations that our nonprofits depend on. Please give it a shot. Again, I'm not going to twist anyone's arm. Would love a second. This, again, just assigns the work to us. Maybe the Public Holdings Committee, of which Councilor Spatafora and Councilor McDonald serve on with myself, to try to figure out what we can do with this building. I would like a second. I would move that we adopt the order so that we can get to work and try to make this possible. Thank you.
Councilor McDonald?
Yeah, thank you, Councilor O'Malley. And I appreciate this is a complicated issue. I think that one of my frustrations about the process has been is that it feels like over the course of the years that we've now been talking about this, that we only talk about it when it's like in an emergency state, and that we haven't really had any time to sort of dig in. So I think that this is worthy to consider and to figure out, is there an option there? I don't feel like I think it would be better to do that in a committee meeting where we can more back and forth ask questions, talk with our city staff a little bit more about what seems possible before we order them to do something. So I would be interested in trying to refer this and maybe some of these other papers to a Public Properties Committee meeting, which I think if we don't have a big council, committee of the whole agenda next week, we should have some time to be able to have.
Next week, would it have to be next week is primers, who won't have any council meeting next week.
Well.
So, and then let's see, when do we go up to just looking at what we got on the.
How about the parking lot one? Could we do the like this one, maybe adopt this one, and then do the parking lot one in committee?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just feel like I don't know what it means what are the implications of ordering the city to negotiate? And so I would be willing to.
It would be us.
Yeah, I think probably the next opportunity would probably be the 19th, because we don't have committee meetings next week. The 12th is a full council meeting, and I think we have some finance and other things. So next time we could probably take it up as on the 19th.
And just to clarify, it's not ordering the city, it's ordering us as the city council. So it'd be ordering the Public Properties Committee to work on the other papers that you're discussing.
Let me pause there. Let me think about that.
Okay, so, all right, pausing, Councilor McDonald. So we have then Councilor Colon-Hayes.
Yes, thank you. I've been doing some research on this as well, and I'm glad you brought it up. I feel the same, that we need to fight to try and save this building. I know that this fight has been happening for a long time. I did actually also reach out to the mayor to see why it was passed up in the parking, obviously, to move the building to that parking lot. Obviously, we would lose parking. There was also some concerns about traffic and the impact that might have on the high school. But I think that it is something that we should take a look at. And I agree that we shouldn't be talking about things when they are urgent, but that's some reason, that's how it comes up here all the time. But I think if we have a second chance, we have the CPC that wants to fund it. It's not coming out of our funds. I was looking into that as well. It's already been given to us, so we're not using that. And I did also have some talk that the building is actually in better shape than I had originally thought, so I was actually concerned about moving that building at all. But it sounds like it's in a little bit of better shape than I had originally thought. So I would like to refer this to the public properties and to kind of hash all this out also. I think we moved too fast and we all felt pressured. I know I did, and I thought that the Malden High School was well aware and the kids there were aware that it was going to be moving on there. Then I heard it was not. A lot of youth reached out. I had met with them. They didn't know. Teachers didn't know. So I don't agree with moving there at all. But I think that maybe we can go around as many heads as possible looking into this and see if we can save this building. So I would second that if that's where we're at.
So we have, it has been seconded. Councilor Crowe.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with all the things that are in here. But I do, as Ms. Spatafor had kind of mentioned, and a couple of weeks ago we had Mr. Hogan down here, and he had put up some of the capital projects that we wanted to work on, and so that totaled $70+ million. So I feel like, and then last week we had Mr. Rubin in to talk about public facilities and the costs, about upkeeping of all the buildings, including the schools, which, as we said last week, are not really new schools anymore. And since most of them were built at the same time, they sort of tend to kind of break down at the same time. It also was discussed about maybe setting up an enterprise fund to kind of support, the public facilities. So I absolutely agree with this, and this has been on the agenda, on the topic for a number of years. I too thought, maybe the high school knew, I'm not sure where the breakdown of communication was there, but I feel like to say that we're gonna negotiate, I know we have the building, and even if the CPC pays to move it, I do think you can't get any parking around there, and, adding parking underground, who's paying for that underground parking? I mean, again, there's a lot of cost here, and I feel like unless we start to take something else off the list, the fire station, the Arts and Culture Center, the roofs of the schools, the, Malden River Works, we seem to be almost having champagne taste and beer budgets. It is gonna get tighter and tighter, not just with the schools, but just with everything else that's coming down. So I'm fine, but I had the same kind of concern when it says order, that we're gonna negotiate. As Council McDonald is, like, should we be talking about this? I feel like this has been talked about. I do think that the parking lot was an option. That has been talked about a number of years ago, and for lots of different reasons, it just didn't make sense, and it doesn't work. It can't even pick it up and put it over there. It'd have to face Chevrolet or face the new building, because it just doesn't have a wide enough spot. But, so I think there's a lot more in there, and I feel like even Attorney DeMarco's here, and he has come before us, and the owner of the property has been trying, I think the city's been trying to find, where do we put this? How do we move this? And in the last, I don't know how many years now, 4? 5? In the last 5 years, we haven't come up with a solution. So I'm not sure about, we can have another conversation in a committee, but if in 5 years we haven't come up with a solution, I'm not sure how we're gonna be able to come up with a solution when they really have the right to do what they need. I think it should be preserved. I wish we found the answer 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and not discussing it tonight.
Okay, Karen, did you want to speak in, or otherwise I was
Oh,
going to
no,
speak?
I already spoke. Oh, sorry.
Okay, all right, great. So, yeah, I know, my perspective is, I remember there was a Maplewood train station that was built, and there was an effort by then the Malden Redevelopment Authority and Mayor Howard, when Joe's Welding wanted to expand. And our historical folks worked, and they actually paid the money to move it down to where Charles Rowe Company was. And, it was difficult because the city couldn't quite find a location that Charles Rowe could agree on. Charles had a actually very good plan on how it would be restored, but no one had a use for it. And we didn't have the resources at that point. We didn't have community preservation. And I know since I've been elected to council, since 2018, a few things, even before getting elected to council, was 2015, I joined the coalition to preserve Malden to help pass the Community Preservation Act, which was something we didn't have at the time the Maplewood Station was moved and ultimately torn down. So we have that resource. And then coming onto the council, my first term, we passed the demolition delay law, which has created this circumstance. And I think the really hope was that by having these resources and having a tool where the city could have this delay and work towards saving things, I thought, this type of building would be saved. I mean, this certainly is the type of building, when this council passed the demolition delay law, that we really intended to be given serious consideration. And the Historic Commission took the right steps in saying this is an important building. It's frustrating that after 5 years, we still don't know where it's gonna go and where it would be used. I think that's the frustrating thing. And what I say, it's hard, because it's much easier to throw stones than it is to build something. And that's the dilemma here, that we don't have a good partner. You look at, we had this, when the armory, the old armory was dilapidated, and the YMCA that was deteriorating, the city worked in partnership to convert the old armory into the great facility that we have. And that showed. I mean, I remember literally a great team came together. People raised millions. Paul probably remembers that, of millions of dollars going to the Kresge Foundation nationally to compete for that. You know, if we want to preserve for beneficial use, it costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of partnerships. And we're failing. We have some tools we didn't have back when we lost the Maplewood, train station, but we still seem to be failing here. And I think that's the thing. We've had 5 years. We've had an idea. I mean, I think the mayor's office has seriously pursued something here. I mean, it was rushed. I do appreciate, Jen, it was rushed to the city council to make kind of an urgent decision that we really should have had more input from the schools on that, and it hasn't turned out. It's been a difficult thing. So I am supportive of talking about this more in committee. I don't fully understand what the potential for this is on the parking lot. I do kind of take the philosophy of it's a legitimate for the council to say, is a parking lot or a place where we're preserving a historic building worthy of discussion? So that's really where I'm coming from. I think that's worth the discussion. We do have authority under a city charter over city property, and I think it's legitimate that we, as a council, raise this. Not, that to say, is this where we come out of balance? But that's where I'm coming from, that we should have a discussion of that. So I'm supportive of that, but it is frustrating that we have a lot more historic preservation tools in place. We know this building has been something that's important to preserve, and still as a city, we have not created the partnership and come up with the resources to preserve this, and that's on all of us in a way. So that is the type of thing, really, I mean, we have a daycare right downtown a block away. Should we have worked to see if this could have been a daycare? We have organizations in our community that are looking to do cultural centers. Why did we not pursue a partnership there? So that it is, we have partners who want to work on things. Why didn't that come together? So I think it's worth some more discussion. So that's where I'm at. And I will leave it, and I have Councilor McDonald's looking to speak again. So then
I think Councilor was Councilor Condon? I think he was
Condon,
before
do you
me
want
in
to say
order.
something? Okay, okay, all right, so, all right, we'll have Councilor Condon up then, right.
Thank you, Council President. I don't know if we're in the situation right now of jumping in on something like this. I think for me to vote for this, I gotta know how much it costs. I gotta know what you're planning on using this building for. I mean, that wish list that we went through, I call it a wish list. Sure, it'd be nice to have a fine arts center and everything else, but not for probably $30 million, I'm sorry. There's other things. Huh? Well, the fire station can probably be at least cut in half, easily. So before I'm gonna jump into anything, when you hear the schools are facing an $8 million deficit, well, you have to wake up, and understand now's the time not to loosen the belt, but to stay afloat. Okay, because we have $20 million in free cash, I've seen over the years how fast that free cash can go. And there's some nice things on that list that should be done, okay? But I just don't think we should go on a spending spree unless we know exactly what we're spending the money for and exactly what the benefits to our community will be. So that's my position on it. Thank you.
Councilor McDonald, did you want to speak again then?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to reiterate, I'm happy to, I would like to move that we refer this or table this and refer the parking lot one at the sponsor's preference, and to also table the resolve about this until we can, I will work to to have a meeting of the Public Properties Committee as soon as we can get it on the schedule. So I want to check in on what those options might be. But I agree with Councilor Condon that I don't know how we can, in good faith, enter down this road if we don't have a sense of, like, even theoretically, how we would pay for what is required in greater detail than just a talking point, and what the plan might be and how we're going to get to that plan, because we can't do anything by ourselves as the city council. I mean, we might have authority, but we don't have staff. We don't have the ability to manage grants and properties and so on. So I just think we need to take a little bit more time. And I will also just note, I went back and checked the notes on this to our Vice President of the School Committee's comments. I will speak for myself. I at least did ask about in that meeting when this was first brought, whether the school committee had been consulted about this, which is reflected in the notes. And we were led to believe in that discussion that there had not been objections raised. Now, whether that was the full story or not, I'm not to say. But I wanted to just, for the record, say, that was probably not as much due diligence as we should have done, but we did a little bit try. So I would make a motion to either table or refer this, as well as the remainder.
So we want to, so is there a motion to refer to public properties by Councilor McDonald, second by Councilor O'Malley. So any other discussion? Councilor Hayes, you have your light on, so yeah.
We're just about to take a vote, but I did want to also say the reason why we want to refer it to a committee is exactly for that reason. Nobody, I don't think, on here is going to say, yeah, let's willy-nilly try and spend money that we don't have. It's just to give, like, I was just talking to some options that I was thinking of with Councilor Crowe. She told me that, no, that couldn't be done. But I think in a committee, if we come to that decision, we come to that decision. But I think it's worth us talking about our property, right, and what we owe, and if it's, as soon as possible, and it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I think it's absolutely worth a try, so thank you.
All right, so seeing no more lights?
It was a second.
Okay. So the motion is to refer this to Public Properties, or now kind of Public Holdings Committee. So I guess we just can do that by voice vote, right? So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion is passed. The paper is referred to our Public Properties Committee. And then we have two resolutions. Do we want to take those up together? Yeah, or just one, a resolution and an order. So, so why don't we read those into the record, and then we can decide what to do those, all right? So-
Paper 99-24, resolve that it is the sense of the City Council that the body would like the Community Preservation Committee to reconsider the application for historic preservation of 15 Ferry Street, the M. Ida Converse Building, known by City Assessors Parcel ID 075-272-211, in a modified form so as to preserve the building through an alternative location for the building.
So, do we want to have the other paper read, or do you
I-
want to,
I will, so if possible, so on this one, there were some questions about where the funding would come from. This is where the funding would come, this would be where the funding would partially come from to move the building. The property owner is going to pay for the bulk of the move, but there is, I believe, $205,000 available in the Community Preservation Fund specifically for historic preservation. And in what we heard tonight from the CPC and in conversations I've had with the CPC, they are willing to potentially look at this. So again, this is a non-binding resolve asking the committee to do what they're willing to do. They basically said to me, all they would need is a modified proposal from the property owner and likely the city. That would likely only come if the conversation in committee leads to something that we can all agree on. So I would hope that we pass this. It's just a resolve, asking them to be open to reopening the funding. Thank you.
all right. Does anybody want to speak to that? Okay, Councilor McDonald, you're on.
Yeah, I appreciate the point. I would move that we table this to a future meeting until we can have this conversation in Public Properties.
All right, and then Councilor Crowe. All right.
table this until we have that conversation, see where that goes, and then figure out some of the other things.
Any other discussion on that? So we have a motion to table, that takes precedence. So all those in favor of tabling this paper until further notice? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so that paper is now tabled. And now we have paper 124.
100-24, order that the city council investigate utilizing a portion of the Ferry Street parking lot known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 075-272-205 to relocate and preserve 15 Ferry Street, the M. Ida Converse Building known by City Assessor's Parcel ID number 075-272-211.
So Councilor O'Malley for the paper.
I would refer this to the Public Properties Committee. I do just want to say, though, as you've heard, it takes a team to make this happen. So if there are members of the community that would like to see historic buildings preserved in our community, please get involved now. Now would be the time. We have an opportunity. I personally am inspired by Barbara Tolstrup, who is the longtime chair of the Historic Commission, who basically single-handed got our original town hall put on the National Historic Register, and she went through all that work to get that done. And our former mayor Kelleher knocked it down over the weekend. And so I don't want to repeat that mistake again. I think we have the opportunity to fix a historic wrong. We have a developer and a property owner that is willing to work with us. As Councilor Winslow said, we're not getting it right. We can get it right. Thank you.
All right. Any second to that motion to refer to public property? Seconded by Councilor McDonald. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is opposed. That paper is referred to the Public Properties Committee. All right. Next paper is communication. We already handled communications, so we're going to committee reports.
Paper 101-24, committee report. The Standing Committee on Rules and Ordinance, to whom was referred paper 460, series of 2023, and papers 10, 46, 47, series of 2024, having considered the same, make the following report. Committee recommends paper 10-24 to update non-union salary schedules out favorably to the full council by unanimous vote. Committee further recommends papers 460-23, 46-24, and 47-24 out favorably to the full council as amended in committee.
So, okay, on Councilor Linehan's motion to receive the committee report, seconded by Councilor Taylor. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The committee report is received. Clerk will read the first paper.
460-23, be it ordained by the Malden City Council that the Code of the City of Malden 6.16.040 regulation of sale of flowers, flowering plants, and Christmas trees is hereby amended by striking "and Christmas trees" from the title. Be it further amended by striking Section C in its entirety and renaming Section D to Section C.
So, Councilor Linehan for the committee. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, here. Okay, got you. Let's see. There you go.
Thank you, Council President. I'll defer to Councilor McDonald if he has anything he wants to add to this, but essentially, this would just eliminate the costly fee that we've had on the books to sell Christmas trees. We had made an amendment just to make sure that this wouldn't rule out the ability to sell trees. That can still be done under the business license, but this is just eliminating the fee, hopefully streamlining this and getting something off the books that is a little bit onerous and costly. I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
Councilor McDonald, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple of things. I did file this at Christmas time, but the speed of government is here we are. And that's good, to take time and take our due diligence. In filing this paper, I don't think we talked about it actually that much at this table. We did talk about it in committee. I looked at all of our neighboring cities and towns to ask if any, and a couple of other cities, that to ask if they have a Christmas tree license, because Malden has a specific Christmas tree license to sell Christmas trees. And that license is $1,000, and you can get the money. You can get some back if you clean up the lot afterwards, which I have to wonder what the story is about that lot.
It's a lot of sweeping.
It's a lot of sweeping, and it has to be voted on by the full city council. So it's a pretty stringent license, far more expensive than the other licenses that we see come through here. And we wondered if there was a story there, but no one has been able to reveal the story of why this is such a license that seems designed to discourage people from selling Christmas trees. So we talked about it in committee. We did go through and check to see that, what would happen without that license, which is what happens in, say, Medford or Melrose, which is simply that as you would need a business permit or a business, you need to register as a business. Underlying zoning applies. If you break our laws about business and zoning, then we send compliance to talk to you about it, similar to any other type of violation. We did get a legal opinion from our assistant city solicitor, Zahir, if I can read your email into the record, which, because I heard some concern from folks that this was really just a long con to ban the sale of Christmas trees, which is, wow. You just never know what people are gonna assume. So, from our assistant city solicitor, he writes, I did review the proposed amendments to Malden City Ordinance 616-040 that were discussed at the Rules and Ordinance Committee meetings on January 23rd and 30th, 2024. I agree that the changes do not ban the sale of Christmas trees within the city. They only remove the requirement of a $1,000 license fee. So thank you for that determination. As a point of fact, we haven't actually issued this license in some years, I think because it's so onerous. So my hope is that maybe we will see a few more festive trees. I support live trees in general, however you choose to decorate them in our city next year. So I hope I can count on your support.
All right. So on,
Yeah, do you wanna make the
on motion, Councilor McDonald's motion, second by Councilor Sika to eliminate any fee for the sale of Christmas trees beyond business licenses. Clerk will call the roll. So this is to, to eliminate an ordinance? So this is a change of ordinance, right?
It's amending, right?
It has to be enrolled and then. Okay. All right, so we're on the motion to enroll. We don't need a roll call, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The order is enrolled, and then we will have to ordain the change. But, all right, that is enrolled. Next paper.
Paper 10-24, be it hereby ordained by the Malden City Council that the Code of the City of Malden be amended by updating Title II, Chapter 20, Sections 030, 040, 050, and 060, as is related to non-union employee compensation by adding a 3% cost of living adjustment effective July 1st, 2023, to the officer, specialist, clerical, and unclassified salary schedules.
Councilor Linehan for the committee.
Yes, thank you. So as our clerk just said, this adjusts the cost of living for 59 non-union employees from various departments. Pretty standard. I just wanted to make note of the fact, though, that normally we would take up amendments to the salary structure with a financial paper, and in this case, because we have ongoing negotiations with a different union, we're going to be getting a more comprehensive paper in the future. So that's why this is coming in a little bit of an unorthodox way, but otherwise pretty standard non-union salary adjustment.
So on Councilor Linehan's motion to, let's see, we're just accepting the paper, right? Or we already had the report, so we already had the committee report. So this is, any further discussion? Any comments? Councilor Condon, do you have anything? You're good? All right, so any other thing, motion to enroll?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Councilor Linehan, second by Councilor McDonald. We don't need we can just do this by voice. So motion to roll by, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion is that order, ordinance is enrolled. Thank you. All right, and without the finance paper, there's no need to really go ahead and try to do any expedition. We'll just.
Yeah, that's what I was just kind of sidebarring about. We have to wait 2 weeks for the comprehensive paper, right? Is that what we referred earlier, or is that a different one? Okay, disregard.
So there's no, it's not like the employees can get their.
Right, so it's given that we don't have the financial paper,
Right,
let's
so
just
we'll
leave it.
We'll leave it, all right, so that's enrolled, and we'll wait till later to, 2 weeks for ordainment. So, next paper, please.
Paper 46-24, be it ordained by the Malden City Council that the Code of the City of Malden, Title II, Chapter 16, Section 100B, Human Rights and Fair Housing Commission, be hereby amended to address the composition of said commission by the following.
Counselor Linehan for the committee.
Thank you. So the Human Rights and Fair Housing Commission had approached the council honestly a couple times over the last year or so. They really had difficulty filling their open roles, and they have had difficulty meeting quorum to be able to do business. So they approached us to expand their membership and add a little bit more flexibility with some of the roles, and then we made an additional amendment to add language around reflecting the demographics of the community as we fill those positions. So we recommended favorably to put this forward to help them kind of get back on track, be able to fill positions and be able to meet quorum and do business.
All right.
So I would move that we enroll.
Motion to enroll, second by Counselor Crowe.
As amended, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So that the ordinance as amended is hereby enrolled. Is there any need to expedite this at all, or just?
You think we should? Yeah, motion to ordain.
So we have to motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to
first.
suspend our rules.
So a motion to suspend the rules so that we can, for the purposes of ordaining tonight. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Cologne Hayes. Counselor Condon. Counselor Crowe. Counselor Linehan.
Yes.
Counselor McDonald. Counselor O'Malley. Counselor Seega. Counselor Taylor. Council President Winslow.
Yes. So we now have suspended the rules, so then we can now entertain a motion to ordain these amendments.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Linehan, seconded by Counselor Taylor. All those in favor of ordaining, say aye. Oh, we need a roll call on this. Okay, this one we need a roll call vote. All right, so we will call, clerk will call the roll. So-
Counselor Cologne Hayes. Counselor Condon. Counselor Crowe. Counselor Linehan.
Yes.
Counselor McDonald. Counselor O'Malley. Counselor Seega. Counselor Taylor. Council President Winslow.
Yes, the changes to the Human Rights and Fair Housing Commission ordinance are hereby ordained. Next paper.
Paper 47-24, be it ordained by the Malden City Council that the Code of the City of Malden, Title 3, Chapter 08, Section 050, claims against the city for damages to be disposed of by the city solicitor, be hereby amended by the following.
Counselor Linehan for the committee.
Thank you. I think this is it for me. This really was generated from Councilor Spatafora, so I just want to give credit where credit is due since he's not able to be with us. I was happy to co-sponsor this because I've heard from members of our community that have been in pretty difficult circumstances. Essentially what it would allow us to do is to resolve claims where the city is at fault. For example, a sewage leak into someone's home where it's clearly our fault and legal is admitting that it's our issue. It would allow them to negotiate and settle up to $25,000 previously. If the claim was above $500, residents would actually have to sue us. And so obviously that puts a lot of people in a position of having to sue us for things where we're already admitting that it's our issue, and doesn't take away someone's right to take us to court if they still want to, but basically fast tracks when you've got a really costly situation getting folks that reimbursement. So I would make a motion to enroll.
Yes, so, well, I want to thank Counselor Spatafora and Counselor Linehan for advancing this. I know it's one of my constituents who's been impacted, and I think this will affect everybody. It's a very sensible change, and we'll give our legal office, we gave the authority to legal office to settle claims rather than having the council do it. This is a practical thing, so very supportive of this, and it really will help some constituents who get caught in tough situations where they've taken the actions to help deal with the unfortunate situation that may be created by city actions, but then our hands are tied. So this will help untie the hands, and I think some fair resolutions of increasing the level substantially, and also maintaining some oversight in terms of the higher claims and making sure that council does review those. So we have some checks. We have Counselor McDonald as well, so great.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very supportive of this and hope we can finalize this tonight. I just had a question coming out of the committee discussion. We had a question about whether this was the right limit. I mean, I know this had been based on looking at some previous cases, and we wondered whether there should be another step up there that requires approval of the council finance committee or the council itself up to a higher threshold. And so I don't know if our assistant city solicitor can relate, have there been any further conversations about that, or maybe other folks know? Is that still something we want to roll into this consideration at this time? Obviously, we can always come back for that as well.
All right, Attorney Zahir, come up and speak on behalf of the Solicitor's Office. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, Zahir Sami. So, to answer your question, Councilor McDonald, basically, if with this change, if it's $25,000 or under $25,000, however the ordinance is worded, we don't have to seek the city council approval, right, to settle a claim, as long as we've done our investigation and we believe that it's a meritorious claim and the amount demanded is reasonable, it's not inflated, you know, we're going to do our due diligence. If it's above that, there's a couple of options. One is we could come to the city council and ask for authority to settle it if it's above $25,000. Or the other thing we could tell or make the claimant do is go to court, which is what most of them have to do now, given that currently the limit is only $500 unless we get specific authority from you. So this change is, I think it's fine as is. If for some reason there is a claim that's above $25,000 and we'd like to settle it out of court, but we need your specific authority, we could always come to you and request that authority. But otherwise, the person will end up having to go to court, which is fine. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
I wanted to just point out what our clerk just reminded me, which is that we did amend in committee. Can you just actually read that?
Right.
Councilor Crowe made a motion to amend the paper by adding, claims exceeding $25,000 but not more than $50,000 may be settled by the city solicitor subject to the approval of the Committee on Finance.
Oh, okay, I don't have that in my,
Okay.
the link.
So that was, the committee report, so that would be what we'd be voting on.
The committee report indicated that this was recommended favorably as amended.
I think I remember that actually, but
Yeah.
it wasn't in the document attached.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where I got confused as well when I referenced the attachment.
Okay. So, Counselor Condon, do you have let's see. All right, Counselor Condon.
I have a situation where people have a sewer line that broke on their property, and they understand that it's their responsibility to fix it, but it also broke at the main. So who's responsible for that?
Well, I don't want to discuss any specific, claim without really having done an investigation. I mean, you're right that if it's the part of the sewer connection from their property to the main sewer line in the street, that's their responsibility, and, the main
All the way
lines-
out to the main?
Generally, yes. Generally, yes. I mean, the main is the city's responsibility, and their connection to the main from their property is typically their responsibility. But, I mean, that's just a
Okay.
general,
Okay.
Right.
I don't want to get off track, but
Okay, yeah,
it
because
just
we're.
seems like it's a lot.
Okay, yeah. But this is why
That's all right.
we're proposing this, so we don't have to get into these conversations.
yeah,
again.
I mean,
All right,
yeah,
so-
exactly.
Yeah, okay. But any other questions for council then, or are we good? All right, I think Councilor McDonald, did you have something else to add? Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, so I just wanted to, I think the $50,000, it's rare that there's gonna be a situation in which we feel we are so clearly liable for more than $50,000 that we don't wanna put this through more of a legal process. But I do just wanna confirm that, yeah, that actually is an option, that the legal department could come to us and ask us to approve a settlement of, I guess any amount.
Yes, we could.
Out of court, like before it hit
Out of court, yes.
Yeah, okay, all right, great.
Yeah, it's certainly an option.
Certainly not great, but I'm just very mindful that there's some scenario I cannot imagine that where it just seems cruel to send a family hurting to have to sue us in order for us to, take responsibility
Yeah,
for what is
and
ours to do.
as a matter of law, I mean, the maximum claim for torts, negligence claims against the city, the maximum liability per claimant is actually $100,000. So, and that's just a matter of law for negligence type claims.
Right. So, any further discussion? Otherwise, on Counselor Linehan's motion to approve with Counselor McDonald's second? As amended. This is to enroll, so all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That is enrolled, and then I think this is one we may want to expedite. So on Counselor Linehan's motion to suspend the rules, seconded by Counselor Colon-Hayes. We have to take a roll call on that, so to suspend the rules to allow and ordain tonight. Please, clerk, please take the
Counselor
roll.
Cologne-Hayes. Counselor Condon. Counselor Crowe. Counselor Linehan. Counselor McDonald. Counselor O'Malley. Counselor Sika. Counselor Taylor. Council President Winslow.
Yes, so that, the changes to the ordinance are ordained. Next paper,
No,
please.
no.
What? Oh, let's see, I'm sorry, that's just suspending rules. All right, so we now have to take the vote, I'm sorry. Jumping ahead. Okay, so now we will entertain the motion to ordain Counselor Linehan, seconded by Counselor Crowe. The motion to ordain as amended. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Cologne-Hayes. Counselor Condon. Counselor Crowe. Counselor Linehan. Counselor McDonald. Counselor O'Malley. Counselor Sika. Counselor Taylor. Council President Winslow.
Yes. Now the ordinance is ordained, so those changes are ordained. So next paper, please. Thanks.
Paper 102-24, Committee Report, the Standing Committee on Personnel and Appointments, to whom was referred Paper 51, Series of 2024. Having considered the same, make the following report. Committee recommends this appointment out favorably to the full council.
All right, so I'm president as well as chair, but Councilor Colon-Hayes is vice chair. So Councilor Colon-Hayes for the paper, and if you want to make a motion to receive the report. So. Yes, I'll make a motion to receive. So on Councilor Colon-Hayes' motion to receive the report, all those seconded by Councilor Crowe, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The paper is received. Councilor Hayes for the committee. Oh, let's see. Yes, we'll have the clerk read the paper. I'm sorry, skipping ahead again. Clerk will read the paper.
Paper 51-24, Mayoral Appointment, John P. King, 67 Upham Street, Malden, as a member of the Board of Appeal, having served since April 4th, 2000, said term to expire May 1st, 2026, to commence upon confirmation by the City Council.
Now, Councilor Colon-Hayes for the committee. Okay, all right, so Karen is going to defer to Councilor Linehan, so thanks, great. Oh, let's see, I'll get you there going, sorry. So, great.
Yep, I'll be quick. This was pretty straightforward. We had Mr. King in for discussion, had a really good back and forth. I think it was just Councilor Spatafor, Council President Winslow, and myself, but we unanimously recommended favorably to reappoint, and so that's our recommendation. So I'd move to reappoint.
All right, so Councilor Linehan's motion to reappoint, seconded by Councilor Colon-Hayes. All those in favor, say aye. Or do we have to roll call again? All right, roll call for
It's a mayoral appointment.
Mayoral appointment, we have to do a roll call, so apologize.
Councilor Cologne-Hayes. Councilor Condon. Councilor Crowe. Councilor Linehan. Councilor McDonald. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Sika. Councilor Taylor. Council President Winslow.
Yes, so Mr. King is hereby reappointed. Next paper.
Paper 122-24, the Standing Committee on License, to whom was referred papers 21, 22, 43, 44, 45 of Series 2024. Having considered the same, make the following report. Committee recommends these petitions out favorably to the full council with the notation that papers 43 and 44 are granted with conditions.
All right, so on Councilor Siko's motion to receive the report, seconded by Councilor Colon-Hayes, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The paper is hereby received. Councilor Sika for the paper. Oh, let's clerk read the papers, and yes, I've always
Paper 21-24, petition, Livery Company, JML Luxury, 500 Broadway, apartment 5150, one vehicle new. Paper 22-24, Livery driver, Joel Lopez, 500 Broadway, apartment 5150, Malden, Mass., new. Paper 43-24, Class 2, Uni Auto Sales, Inc., 369 Salem Street, Malden, 20 cars renewal. Paper 44-24, Class 2, Nixborn Car Center, LLC, 121 Beach Street, Malden, 15 cars renewal. Paper 45-24, petition, Taxi Cab, Malden Trans, Inc., 290 Eastern Avenue, Malden, 9 cabs renewal.
Now, Counselor Seeker for the committee, thank you.
Thank you. Can you share my microphone off, please?
Sure, let's see, okay. Here we go, great.
I've been told my voice is lower since I've had my ear surgery. I'm not sure if I'd be able to speak without the microphone, but
Okay.
thank you,
All
Council
right,
President.
very good. Thank you very much.
The committee, the License Committee met last Tuesday, and there were no issues. They were all, the livery licenses were new, but the Class 2 dealer's license were all renewals, so there were no issues. We spoke to the compliance guys, so I make a motion to grant all these petitions.
Okay, so on Counselor Seeker's motion to grant the petitions, seconded by Counselor Colon Hayes, let's see, we will, all those in favor? Any opposed? Those petitions are hereby granted. Next order of business is?
Your docket is clear.
Docket is clear. Was anybody who like personal privilege tonight? Personal privilege. Counselor Colon Hayes, let me get you up there. All right, Counselor Colon Hayes.
Thank you. I just wanted to, we're wrapping up Black History Month, which of course should be all year long, but I wanted to give a shout out to the Emmanuel Baptist Church had Reba Danistorg's granddaughter, who we've worked with a while, sang last night at the Senior Center. Beautiful. So it was a very nice way to kind of wrap up the month. And I also was at the Emmanuel Baptist Church where they had a really great, I'm saying like an event, but they really went through and spoke about the evolution of like gospel music and the blues and how that's come, you know, and played a really huge role in the civil rights movement. So I want to thank both of them for doing that. And if I had more notice, I would have put that out to, I did try and give some notice, but I learned last minute. So next year, I'll definitely make sure that I shout that out a little earlier, but it was great. And I think that's about it. You're going to hear our next meeting, you'll be hearing from the North Shore Hispanic Association, not as, but she's going to come up and tell a little bit about what our next event is going to be. So I'm not going to announce that now. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wanting to do, Counselor Crowe, look like you're up there. Counselor Crowe.
Thank you, Mr. President. This Saturday at the Early Learning Center, Junior Aid Association will be hosting their second annual blood drive. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And if you want to sign up, actually, I think there's only 44 spots. I think we've already filled like 38 of them. But if you want to, donate blood, save a life, please, you can either go on to the Junior Aid Association of Malden Facebook page, or you can go to www.bostonchildrens.org /half-pints, and it's J.A. Malden. You can make an appointment and come down and give some blood.
All right. Anyone else? Let's see. I did want to make sure folks were aware that the president of the American Association of Arab Women just wanted to share that March 1st, 2024, this coming Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. at 350 Main Street, there's a Moroccan gallery to celebrate the International Women's Day coming up. So it's going to be happening this Friday at 350 Main Street. So thank you. Any other? Councilor McDonald.
I just wanted to quickly say thank you and congratulations to Councilor Taylor, who hosted a Ward 5 community dinner this past weekend. And as a Ward 5 resident, I think my kids had a great time. So it was delicious. I know a number of us were there. And thank you for hosting that event to help bring our neighbors together.
Councilor O'Malley.
So we won't be on TV before this happens, but we are almost back to daylight savings time, March 10th, so we can finally, I know, Councilor Sika, you don't really like daylight savings, but I love daylight savings. I cannot wait. Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm still learning. I still don't understand, like, when we go back or forth. All I know is we get more light, and I'm so excited for it. Okay, thanks, okay. You know, Malden Public Schools, what can you do? Okay.
All right, one more thing, all right, so, let's see. Councilor
Yes,
McDonald.
I also just wanted to let folks know there's a community event which is a kickoff for the Porch Fest season for planning. So, and getting involved, that's this Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. at Pearl Street Station. So hope to see many of you there.
Okay, and then just before that, I Bike to the Sea, starting down on Canal Street, I think it's from 3 to 5, is doing a Leap Day geocaching cleanup. So if you want to get your hands a little dirty before helping the Porch Fest, that's one thing that's happening this Thursday. So as we get ready for daylight savings, it's something to do that. So I'm not seeing any other lights on here. To entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilor Sika, seconded by Councilor Taylor. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Any opposed? This meeting is hereby adjourned. All right, thank you. Great. Okay. All right. I just have to follow the script a little more closely here. Maybe a little bigger letters. What I'll have to do is go through all the